What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes I made when I was coming up with brand names and brand logos. Now, as most of you guys already know, or you probably already seen the video of me talking about logo t-shirts and stuff like that, sitting on the stairs in my house, kind of just talking to the camera when I was running leftovers. Now, in all of my experience of the years I've been doing this, the hardest thing to do is sell your logo t-shirt. And I'm talking about right out the gate, right when you launch. If you try to launch just with your logo t-shirts, it's almost impossible to sell those things. Now you might sell some to your mom, maybe your cousin's husband, maybe your barber might buy one, and maybe your neighbor's son might buy one just to support you. But you can't sustain your business living off of your family and your friends' money. So when I'm talking about actually launching and selling your logo t-shirts, I'm talking about selling to the public, selling to direct strangers. It's almost impossible to sell your logo t-shirt to a complete stranger. Now, I found this out the hard way. If you ever watch any of the Bullshit with Brando episodes where I talk about this kind of stuff, you already know I used to go all in on all of my brands. My dreams were way bigger than my realities. So personally, I would always want to brand everything I do. I wanted my logo to be on the back of the shirt, front of the shirt, sleeve of the shirt, inside the neck label. Anywhere I could put that logo, I wanted to put it on there. What I didn't understand was nobody gave a shit about my brand name and nobody gave a shit about my brand's logo. I got too caught up in comparing myself to all these other clothing brands and all of these other well-established streetwear brands. So I felt like I was competing in the same leagues as them. I felt like I was doing everything they were doing. But what I forgot was these well-established brands already put in the legwork for brand awareness, to build up their following, to build up their loyal supporters, and build that fan base around their clothing brand. Here I was, brand new to the game, just trying to jump right in without creating the excitement around the brand, without creating any brand awareness, without a target audience. So every single time I try to put out logo t-shirts, something very, very brand heavy, clothing brand name on the front of the chest, clothing brand name on the sleeve, on the back of the shirt, I noticed people didn't buy the shit. And my brand name could have been really cool. I knew my brand name had this deep, strong meaning behind it. Metaphorically, it was thought-provoking, had a good, positive message, and the logo looked dope as fuck. But the customers didn't give a shit about any of that. The reason being is they didn't understand what the brand was. They didn't understand who the brand was. Why would these complete strangers invest their hard-earned money on a t-shirt they know nothing about? So I always used to think like, shit, when I walk in the mall, all of these brands have logo t-shirts that people are buying. I was buying them too. But what I was missing, these clothing brands put all the legwork in building brand awareness around their company. I was part of the target audience. I was buying it because I believed in that brand. I wanted to be cool wearing that brand's name on my chest. Even if I didn't know what the brand name meant, even if I didn't know the mission statement, even if I didn't know what the company stood for, I knew that other people knew what that brand name meant, so I wanted it on my body. So after a shitload of failed attempts of selling brand names, brand logos, brand heavy shit, I noticed it's way easier to sell t-shirts without your brand name, without the logo on it. Because now I'm creating shit for the end user. I'm creating stuff for the target audience. I'm not just trying to sell them on a brand name or a logo t-shirt. I'm selling them a t-shirt with a design that they can relate to, that they feel proud enough to wear on their body. Something that they would spend their hard-earned money on and wear it out in public. It's not my brand name. It's not my logo on the t-shirt. It's the actual design that people are buying. So this is how I personally bring brand awareness around my brands, is by not branding any of my t-shirts. Sounds ass backwards, kind of sounds dumb, because you're gonna have a lot of other people telling you otherwise. Branding is everything. You need to live your brand. Don't hide your brand's logo. The world needs to see your logo. This is the kind of shit that other people are telling you, and they're probably right. But in my own personal experience, I found way more success without branding any of my shit. Because at the end of the day, when you're a startup and nobody knows who you are, nobody gives a fuck about your brand name. What they care about is the actual design on the t-shirt. So if the design on the t-shirt is just your logo or your brand's name, if they don't give a shit about your brand or your brand's name, they're never gonna buy that shirt. They don't relate to it. So something that I do, and I rely heavy on when I launch any brand that I do, is I make sure that the first 3 designs that I put out and I start advertising and marketing and promoting have nothing to do with my brand name. They have everything to do with relating to the customers. So if I'm into fishing and I'm launching a new fishing brand and my brand name is called Big B's Fishing Clothing, I don't know. If I just made a shirt that said Big B's Fishing Clothing, no fisherman is gonna give a shit about Big B's fishing clothing. But if I had a design of a fishing pole bending over, pulling in this big ass shark or this big ass fish standing at the edge of a boat, that would relate to the fisherman outside of Big B's fishing clothing. Or if I played towards some kind of fishing terminology. I'm not a fisherman by any means, so I don't know anything related around fishing, but this was just the example I gave. But if there was some sort of terminology or slang revolving around fishing that only other fishermen know, I'd be putting that on a t-shirt, almost like if it's an inside joke to the fishermen, because now that relates just to other fishermen. Big B's fishing clothing don't mean shit to nobody else, but I know I have to make fishing related t-shirts if I want to sell the shit to other fishermen. You see what I'm saying? So if I made a design that had like the crosshairs from a scope, and then inside the scope was like a fucking tuna or a bass or I don't know what other kind of fish you could find, that kind of shit right there would relate to the end user. Like, he's hunting down these goddamn tunas, he's gonna understand this shirt. You know what I mean? This is just an example. I don't even know if that's a good idea, but I'm just spitballing some shit, right? Now, let's say that your brand isn't something as direct as fishing. Maybe it's just some sort of streetwear brand or some kind of clothing brand that you wanted to do, and maybe you have a bigger message to send. Another thing that I like to rely on is hometowns, sports team colorways, and playing into the relation between the end user and whatever they're a fan of. So for example, if I just was running a random streetwear brand, and let's say the streetwear brand was called Mainline. I don't know, I just thought of that right now. So let's say that my streetwear brand is called Mainline. It means nothing to nobody. If I just made a shirt that said Mainline, it doesn't mean anything to anybody. Nobody gives a shit about that. How do I create some sort of brand awareness around Mainline, that Mainline means something to me? Maybe I have this deep meaning and powerful message behind it, but how do I get people to see that powerful message? First thing I would do is rely on hometowns and sports team colorways. So let's say I was from Northern California and I made a black t-shirt with orange print that said San Francisco in a cool ass font. Maybe it's like some custom text that I made. Let's just say it says San Francisco in orange on a black t-shirt. The word San Francisco relates to people that are from Northern California. The colorway black and orange relates to people that are Giants fans in Northern California. Now they could see that shirt and say, oh shit, you know what? I could wear that to the Giants game. I could wear that to the bar when I'm watching the Giants game. That would catch somebody's attention over something that just said Mainline. You see what I'm saying? There's a relation there. There's a relation between the fan and something that they can wear and be proud of. Does your whole brand of Mainline, does it have to be based around San Francisco shit? No. All you're doing is bringing the brand awareness, because now you get one person to buy that San Francisco t-shirt. They wear it to the game. People say, damn, that's a cool ass San Francisco shirt. I've never seen that before. Where'd you get it from? Oh, I got it from this brand called Mainline. Word of mouth spreads around that San Francisco t-shirt. When they go to the site to buy that San Francisco t-shirt, that's where they could see all your other designs. If you had a Mainline logo tee, all that stuff, this is where they're gonna look into your mission statement, what your brand's all about. Who the fuck is Mainline? That's how it works. Nobody's gonna buy the Mainline t-shirt and be like, yeah, check out this Mainline shirt, you should go check it out, blah blah blah. Maybe your mom will do that, or your brother, or you, but not some random stranger. So getting a random stranger to buy into your brand is by making something relatable to them. Same goes for slang, popular terms and shit like that. If it said the Bay, if it said whatever Northern California terminology is popular around them, where they can relate to it, and you put it in to sports team colorways. Northern California, Golden State Warriors, you could do a royal blue shirt with yellow print, saying the same shit. You could do a red shirt with gold print and play off of the 49ers in the same shit. You know what I mean? This is getting people to relate to your brand and bring brand awareness around what Mainline is. See what I'm saying? Your brand doesn't have to be all about San Francisco. This is just getting people in San Francisco to check out your shit. This is helping you make a little bit of money to fund the brand and also spread brand awareness. I do this shit all the time. If I need to bring brand awareness, I'm relying on Laker colorways, Dodger colorways, Kings colorways, UCLA, USC. I'm relying on this shit to bring brand awareness around because it works. I've been doing this shit for years and I know the shit works. It's an easy call. If I was in New York, I'd get a royal blue t-shirt, orange print. It could say NYC, it could say New York. This could go towards a Mets fan, a Knicks fan. This shit just works because it's your design, your colorway, hometown is relating with the end user. Like I said, your brand doesn't have to be all about that city or that state or that colorway. It's just to get people to come to your site, gets people talking about your shit. If you want people to talk about mainline, your brand, give them something to talk about. Somebody buys that New York shirt and they wear it to the Mets game, they wear it to a Knicks game, and they're just like, oh shit, I never seen that shirt before. Where'd you get it from? Oh, this brand mainline makes it. Word of mouth starts to spread. You see how that shit works? So if you're stuck in this rut and you made a bunch of shirts that have your brand's logo and you went brand heavy on the shit, take a step back. Try to make some shit relatable to the end user to create brand awareness. So once you have a good steady flow of income coming in, and also you have a loyal following being built up as we speak, now people are starting to understand what mainline is. And when they buy that San Francisco shirt or that New York shirt, they'll throw in the mainline logo tee or whatever else you have to offer. See what I'm saying? It's not about basing your whole clothing line around that hometown or whatever it is. Shit, I live in Los Angeles, and if I wanted to make some shit for another state, first thing I do is just look at what their popular teams are, what the colorways are, how it works within whatever I'm trying to sell. Think about that. When you're designing shit, design to the end user, design to a specific customer. Make sure that design is relatable to somebody. So then that way you have somebody you want to sell it to. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. Don't be focused on the brand name. Don't be focused on the logo. Don't be focused on selling logo t-shirts and getting your logo on the backs of everybody. That shit comes within time. You have to focus on what your initial launch is going to be, creating brand awareness, and who you're going to market it to. That's the shit you should be focusing your energy on. Like I said, I do this shit all the time. Any brand that I run, I'm making sure that my first 3 designs that I launch and offer to the world has a direct connection with my target audience, has none of my branding on it, and I want to make sure that those designs are relatable to that end user, because it only helps me. It just makes the sell that much easier. All right, if you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrandoTV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.